Some Maple Grove City Council members have concerns about whether the city may have too many rental properties. The latest proposal is in the northwest quadrant of the city near the future Highway 610 extension and Interstate 94. That's where a developer wants to build 155 Scandinavian-inspired townhome rentals and a 200-unit apartment building. While city planning documents do call for high density in this area, some council members raise questions about whether the city has enough rentals already.
Pretty much all of the products that we have been approving are rentals. And so it's just concerning for us.
In the past few weeks, I've had a lot of resident outreach telling me that they feel like we don't have a plan, that we're just kind of saying yes to everything and building a whole lot of things because of how quickly this part of the city is developing.
The council did approve this project on a 4-to-1 vote. Construction on the townhomes is expected to begin this fall. The Robbinsdale School District is laying out its timeline to hire a new superintendent. Former Superintendent David Engstrom resigned in September. The school board discussed plans this week to hire an outside search firm by mid-November. The board's aiming to hire a new superintendent between February and March of next year.
Actually, we've been without a permanent superintendent in the seat since July 1st. This is October. I say there's a sense of urgency about trying to shoot for a target sooner than later.
There's actually 2 districts that are actively recruiting superintendents right now. One's smaller, one's a little bit bigger. But when we talk about that extended timeline, and just like when we talked about transportation, I worry that you might lose candidates.
Assistant Superintendent Marty Voigt is serving as interim superintendent while the district conducts its search. A neighborhood sign in Brooklyn Park has fallen down. Emily Haugen explains how one neighbor was motivated to fix the problem.
There's no place like home.
It means a lot to me because I grew up here.
Andrea Wilson says living in Brooklyn Park now is a walk down memory lane.
My family came here in like 95. This was all dirt road.
One Greenbrook Farms neighborhood staple, she says, was its sign. A sign that is now dismantled.
I kind of feel like without the sign, the neighborhood doesn't have as much of an identity.
Brooklyn Park's environmental health manager, Jason Newby, says his department received a complaint about that sign. It was getting old and turned out it was on private property, so it was the owner's responsibility.
In this case, the property owner decided to remove it.
And then they realized it was a much bigger project than they could handle.
That caught the city's attention again. So they're helping take it down.
Any new sign or any new development on that parcel would have to go through the property owner, and it would be a private venture between that owner and those neighbors.
That inspired Andrea to ignite something new.
It's kind of like a missing piece out of the puzzle. That's been there for 30 years, so I feel like there should be something still there.
She posted on Facebook and started a GoFundMe. Andrea plans to use those funds to construct an updated version of what they already have.
We could just remake the pillars and then have the sign be in the center like how it was.
She says the property owner's on board, but where it'll go hasn't been decided.
It's just cool to come right through and it's like a span of 2 decades.
As she seeks an identity for Greenbrook for decades to come. In Brooklyn Park, Emily Haugen, CCX News.
The work of staff members at one Brooklyn Park elementary school includes, in some cases, a food shelf and supplying clothing. It's part of a need that grew out of the pandemic and has helped change lives. This is a food shelf.
We have some lunch boxes. We have lots of canned chicken, tuna, soups, vegetables.
But the work of social workers at Monroe Elementary School for Mathematics, Science, and Children's Engineering in Brooklyn Park may also include providing new clothes or clean clothes.
Maybe they have outside needs that aren't being met, so it's a lot of resource building and relationship building with families and students.
Families and staff at the school donate almost all of the food, school supplies, and personal items, and there's help from corporate partners.
It's a team effort, right? Like being able to identify students that are having difficulty learning and just listening to the kids, making sure that we're hearing their voice and being able to reach out to families and say, it's okay, we can definitely help you out during this time.
The need started in a more uncertain time.
We were in the middle of the pandemic, there was civil unrest, and we were getting calls from families about, I need these items, can you help us?
They keep helping, and the donations keep coming.
It's really fun. We have the church come in and help kind of go through the expiration dates and get things organized for us, so we have a lot of help. We typically have the whole counter full of items as well as lots of tables set up in the room.
When the work with children goes beyond just the fundamentals,
Kids just bring about so many different pieces of knowledge, information, needs, and they just really light up my day here at school, so that's what keeps me coming back each day.
the lasting impact can perhaps go just beyond clean clothes and a full stomach.
We are impacting a student, but they're going to have a legacy and they're going to impact other people as they go through life. And so that one small ripple has a huge chain reaction.
The majority of the food collected for the school year comes in through a big donation drive each fall. A popular Maple Grove cupcake shop has a new item thanks to a partnership with a business in Plymouth.
We started on Saturday, so just this past Saturday, and it was mind-blowing. We had people coming in like crazy for those. Yes.
That's the assistant manager of Nadia Cakes talking about Nicolette's Macarons. The Maple Grove cupcake shop began selling the colorful French desserts over the weekend. To considerable fanfare, Nadia Cakes calls it a match made in heaven.
Their presentation is beautiful, so they look gorgeous, they taste delicious, and they're just a great little pairing with cupcakes.
Nadia Cakes currently offers 12 flavors. They plan to rotate flavors in and out over the coming weeks.
Wayzata and Edina boys soccer are both ranked in the top 5 in the state in Class 3A. They're also two of the best teams in the Lake Conference. On Tuesday, the Trojans and Hornets squared off for a late season showdown. Chaz Moots has the highlights.
Wayzata came in the night with an unbeaten 12-0-2 record. Edina not far off at 12-3 on the season. No score in the 24th minute. Miles Redmond gets by a defender, dishes it off to Ben Eisinger, who taps it back to Redmond, and the senior takes it from there. Great strike past the keeper. Trojans in front, 1-0. Later in the first half, Charlie Pillar corner kick. Both Jackson Widman and Eisinger had cracks at it, but Wayzata comes up empty-handed and takes a 1-0 lead into halftime. After the break, Edina looking for an equalizer, chance for a header off the throw-in, but Caleb Wagner and the Trojan defense held their ground all night. Wayzata shuts out Edina 1-0. Redmond's goal in the first half ends up being the game winner.
Dropped back on the line, got the ball from a great outside back, Jackson. He played me the ball. I saw I had space to beat the guy, cut in. I saw Ben come in, our striker. He held the ball up very well. I made a run pass, he gave it right back, and I just slotted it bottom corner.
In Edina, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
After the Wayzata and Edina boys soccer matchup, another Trojans-Hornets showdown took place on Coolman Field between the Wayzata and Edina girls teams. The stakes couldn't be any higher. Both teams with perfect 15-0 records and ranked first and second in the state in Class 3A. Chaz Moots has the highlights.
A possible state championship preview. Wayzata first in the class in 3A, Edina second in the state, and the Lakes Conference regular season title on the line. Tied at 1 in the 35th minute, Edina's Michaela Cavalry with a shot on net. It gets blocked, but the freshman stays with it and goes near post for her first goal at the varsity level. Hornets head into halftime up 2-1. In the second half, the rain started to come down. Corner kick for Edina. Doesn't look like much of an angle for Lou Ruffian, but the sophomore somehow finds a way to score and extend the Hornets' lead 3-1. Edina scored 2 more goals after that to make it a 5-1 game. Wayzata trying to mount a comeback. Grace Esteby gets behind the Hornet defense. She connects with the left foot and scores to make it a 3-goal game. But too much Edina and too much Izzy Engel. The Notre Dame commit scored a hat trick, and Edina wins big over Wayzata in a battle of unbeatens and number 1 and 2 in the state. In Edina, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The top-ranked Wayzata volleyball team took to the court Tuesday night, looking for their 20th straight win to start the season.
The number 1 Trojans on the road to take on Lake Conference opponent St. Michael Albertville, both teams in blue. The Trojans on your left, and Bianca Nister gets the ball to Stella Swenson, who attacks from the right side and scores. Wayzata scores the first 6 points of the match. Later in the first set, Nister to Stella Swenson with the set to her sister Olivia, who knocks it off hands and down for a point. Wayzata takes the first set 25-13. A good start for the Knights in set 2. Gabby Kiefer times it right to get the block at Olivia Swenson. STMA leads 9-6. But the Trojans then go on a 12-3 scoring run, and it includes another Swenson to Swenson combination for a point, and it's 18-14 Wayzata. Stella Swenson, quick set in the middle to Katie Kelsenberg for the kill. Wayzata takes set 2, 25-18. And the Trojans, who have lost just 4 sets all season, get another sweep this night. Avery Jesuits with a kill. Wayzata wins 25-13 in set 3, and they improve to 20-0 on the season. In St. Michael, John Jacobson, CCX Sports. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.